This is an overview of how to recertify your WOCNCB credentials via portfolio using the Professional Growth Program, or PGP. You can recertify by portfolio having met the requirements outlined in the PGP Handbook. You'll see here on our website page for PGP under Resources the link to download the handbook. There are 3 categories: continuing education, practice hours, and other projects such as teaching, volunteering, research, and writing. These categories provide various projects and activities you can use to obtain your portfolio points. It's required to have a total of 80 points in your portfolio before submitting it for review, and it's due no later than 3 months prior to credentials expiration. You may submit it up to 12 months prior to credentials expiring. You are allowed 2 portfolio revisions after your original submission, and if all criteria are met, is approved for recertification. Now let's review the 3 categories. Category 1 for continuing education requires that you must have 10 CE pertaining to the clinical specialty, which is the only minimum requirement, although we allow up to 40 CE. We allow up to 10 CE related to professional practice topics, such as legal issues or marketing your business, for example. You may only use professional practice course credits done through the SAWC, WCET, NPIAP, the WOCN, SUNA, which is urological nurses, AANP, the ANCC, and AAWC, another wound care group. However, even though the 10 professional practice CE are allowed, they are not required, and all your CE can relate to the specialty. Category 2 is for practice hours. Practice hours are defined as the time spent working within your role as a WOC or foot care nurse. The hours are used from any environment, so if you work in direct patient care, academia, industry, administrative and management, home care, long-term care, etc., these hours can be used. The points will come from your past 5 years and are per specialty. And as you can see here, there are various levels: 40 points for 2,000 practice hours, 20 points for 1,000 hours, 10 points for 500 hours, or 5 points for 250 hours. You will calculate your practice hours pertaining to each specialty, starting from your last certification date through your PGP deadline, in other words, the current 5-year period. For example, if you're a full-time WOC nurse and work 2,000 hours a year for 5 years, that is a total of 10,000 hours. You would divide those per specialty, which equals over 3,300 hours per scope. This means you may claim the 40 points in each area. Category 3 is for various other activities such as teaching, research, writing, volunteering. We have divided the various activities by point value as shown here, and they're listed in the PGP Handbook. You'll notice each category is pre-identified as specialty or professional practice. This means you will always use them identified that way. For example, in the 40-point category are textbook chapter author, textbook editor, and establishing a woundostomy continence or foot care nursing service. In the 20-point category are QI projects, authoring a journal article, IRB grant writing, data collection, or analysis. The 10 and 5-point categories contain various activities, such as academics, data collection, developing a poster, involvement as a committee volunteer, performing a product trial, assembling a product formulary, authoring a newsletter article, precepting, and many more. It's important to know that you are not required to have activities in each of the 3 categories, as long as you have at least 10 specialty CE and that at least 40 of your total portfolio points relate to the specialty. So to summarize the requirements, portfolios must have a total of 80 points and contain at least 10 specialty CE. The online system will allow you to submit a portfolio with up to 90 points. Portfolios must contain the 40-point minimum that directly relate to the specialty, keeping in mind your entire portfolio can be in the specialty. Professional practices have a maximum of 40 points allowed, but remember, it's not required. We want to point out your portfolio should only contain things you've done and completed in the past 5 years since earning your last certification. Please be sure your activities have met the handbook's defined requirements. A successful portfolio could come from 40 CE and 40 points in practice hours to receive approval. Or another portfolio, for example, could contain some CE, some practice hours, and points from other projects in Category 3. Be sure your portfolio has the 80-point total and the minimum 10 specialty CE and has at least half of the portfolio related to the specialty. Please watch our other videos on how to create your PGP account, how to enter activities online, or entering your practice hours. Whenever you have questions, go to the website Ask the Board or contact the WOCNCB by email or phone. Thank you for listening, and good luck with your recertification.